Everyone, it's Ashley, the Thrifty Chica, and today we're here to learn all about how you can take a file that is not a normal file type for cutting inside Cricut Design Space and turn it into a .svg, which is the cutting file that you need. So I'm going to walk you through step by step, and this was suggested to me by our group member Marla. She had a project that she had that was a .jpeg file and she needed it transformed. So what we're going to do is walk you through with some different examples so you can take a look at it, and let's get to it. If you haven't yet and you're new to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content, and I have tons that we can work on teaching you about. So let's go ahead. We're going to go inside Cricut Design Space, and if you click upload, you can drag and drop your file, or you can choose a file by browse. So I'm uploading this image. This is from the Graphics Fairy. She has a lot of really beautiful free images that she lets everyone use. And as you can see, it's an owl, really beautiful. So we're going to select how we're going to upload this as a layer. So you would choose simple if you just wanted outlines of basic shapes, moderately complex if you wanted a little more detail, or complex if you have a lot of detail, a lot of color options, that type of thing. I regularly choose complex because I'm just trying to get the best result, and I tend to choose things that have more colors and more details. So we're going to click continue. And as you can see, this lovely picture of this owl here, super cute. So there are a bunch of tools that you can use inside this, and we're going to talk about the tools really quickly. Up on the top left is select and erase, erase, crop. On the right are undo, redo, zoom out, and zoom in. And then there are some advanced options if you want to regulate the controls for the amount of colors that are within the picture here. So that's if you have too many colors and you're worried about it being a cut image. This one specifically, I'm going to turn into a print and cut image, and I'm going to show you guys how you can do that. So let's zoom out a little bit so that we can take a look at the whole picture here. So we're going to select the select and erase tool, and we're just going to click in the background here. And what that does is it takes away all that white space that would normally be in the background of the image. And what we can do is take a look, zoom in, and we're going to be looking around our image just to make sure that it did really well with capturing all the parts of the image, and it looks like it's doing really well. I don't see any major flaws. Sometimes if you have a design that's really complex, it won't capture all the pieces and there'll be little inside spots that you have to go and click on. So it's looking good. I'm not seeing any errors on that or anything that we have to work on. So let's go to preview. And when you go into preview, it will show you where you're at. Let me zoom out. Okay, now we'll go back to preview. It'll show you what the image looks like. So if you were going to cut this image right now, it would make it a single layer, and all of the squares in the background are transparent. So that doesn't matter to the software. The only part of the software that would be that the software would pay attention to is all of this part that is for cutting out. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. And what this does is there are two options. You can save the image and tag the image. And on the left, you have the ability to save it as a print then cut image. And what this means is you would take this design, send it to your printer, and print it on printable sticker paper, printable vinyl, printable HTV, which is iron-on vinyl. And then you can get all of those super fine details, and you don't have to worry about adding multiple layers to achieve that look. So that's one option. The next option is to save as a cut image, and that's if you just wanted the outline of the owl and you were going to fill in other pieces yourself. Because of this design, the way that it is designed and the complexity and all of the colors, this image is best suited for a print and cut image. So I'm going to save it as a print and cut image. So I selected that. Then we're going to name and tag our image. So I'm going to put owl, and then we can tag it with whatever we want. So we could say owl, nature, and then we can go ahead and click save. So what it does is it takes our saved image into recently uploaded images, and then we can click upload and then insert images, and it takes it directly to Design Space. and you will have to go in once this loads and resize it to whatever size you want. But as you can see, you still retain the original properties of the picture originally without having to worry about the background. So this is a really great way to do a print and then cut image. You get a really beautiful detailed result, and you could print it and turn it into something really beautiful. So that's one way to work with clip art. So in the first section, we learned how to take something that was a complex image and turn it into a print and cut image. And a print and cut image is just when you take something that has a lot of detail, a lot of color, and you flatten it essentially into a single image, and then that way you can print it onto something that's a printable surface, such as printable vinyl, sticker paper, or printable iron-on. Let's see what you can do with an image if you wanted to turn it into a layered SVG. So I'm going to show you using a .png file. We're going to take one from our desktop here and upload it. So as you can see, this one already has a transparent background on this. So we're going to go ahead and select complex and click continue. And what this does is it takes it and puts it into the software and it's ready to go. So there are a couple ways that we can handle this. The first way to build this is we're going to create the first base layer the same way that we were doing before. So we're going to select continue. It looks like all of the details and everything have been caught correctly on this. Even in between the legs of the little butterfly are in there. So let's click continue. And we have two different options. We can save it as a print and cut image, which you could do considering there is some blending in between, but what if you just wanted the shapes and so you could fill in your own colors? Well, then what you would do is save this as a cut image, and this will be the background that we will build on top of. So let's take this, save it as a cut image, let's give it a name. We're going to name it something to do like the butterfly background, so we know that this is the first piece that we build on top of. And you can add some tags in there as well. And then just click save. So we can go back in and upload an image and continue doing this again, and this time what we're going to do is take this image following the same steps as before, and we're going to start working on taking specific details and making that a layer for each one. So we know that we have the background layer, which we're going to say is the black layer for this one, because the background of this whole piece here would be black. I would say that all of these pieces would be the top pieces, such as the details on the wings especially. So let's separate these into specific sections so that way we can copy them for each layer. So let's work on just preserving these colored pieces in the center of the wings first for this level. So we're going to take our select and erase tools, and we're going to highlight the pieces that we want hidden, which is going to be the black sections in here, because that's going to be our base layer, so we don't need that now. So as you can see, we're just going to go in and remove all the pieces that we don't need. We're going to use the eraser tool for this, because there's a lot that we're going to exclude for this first run. In fact, I'll make this a little bit larger just to make it faster. What happens if you make a mistake? So I just made a mistake with the tool and I erased part of that edge. I'm going to go up to the top here and select undo, and then it pops it back again, so I can go back in and be more careful with my editing. This is the part where I should probably make the erasing tool a little bit smaller. Okay, now we're done with that. Let's take a look by hitting the preview button on the bottom here. And it should show us if there's any errors or spots that we missed in our design. And it looks like there are. If you look up top here, there's some spots that I need to go back over. So let's go back in there a little bit better and just double check. And then I'm going to hit preview again. Okay, it looks like right there. Go back in again, just to double check. And it looks pretty solid. One more spot there. So this is why the preview tool helps, is you can really get a feel for the design aspect of it without being overshadowed by the colors. Okay, so there we go. So we can click continue. So we're at the page where we're going to decide between whether this is a print and cut. We're going to choose cut image because remember we're building this in sections. So we're going to save this as butterfly wings. And as you can see, we have our base image, we have the wing part of the image. Let's go back, and we have to still add a couple more layers in there. And we're just taking our image again, and this time we're going to pick another section of it to work on. Okay, so we have our butterfly for the top of the wings selected here, and what we're going to do is go to the erase tool and just make sure it's on the largest setting, and we're going to go in kind of slowly, methodically go through this and leave only the blue sections on the top here, and that way we can just save those as another layer. So I'm just going to go through here and work on this. The reason I'm kind of doing this a little bit more methodically for this is it's a little harder when you are removing so much from the picture to make sure that you've gotten everything. So I'm just trying to visually make sure I get everything. Otherwise I have to go back and forth a lot between the preview layers. Now that we're to the point where we're just around the image, I'm going to select the Select and Erase tool and just click on the areas that are surrounding it, and that way I don't interrupt the design itself. And we can go and select the little individual pieces, or we can use the Erase tool. I think this will be easier with the Erase tool because otherwise you'll see a little outline where those pieces were. So I'm going to minimize my tool a little bit there, make it a little bit smaller. So now that we've finished that, let's take a look at the preview and see what it turns out like. See if we've missed any spots. And we have, but probably not as many as if we had not started with the giant erase tool. So we know there's some right here, and up there. So and sometimes it's hard to actually see them until you're on the preview page. So let's go back to the preview page. I don't see anything down here. I don't see anything there. So let's go into, there might be a little piece on the back here. Right there. Let's go into continue. That looks pretty clean. Let's save this as a cut image, and we will tag it as the top section for the wings. So far we have done the original layer in black. We've taken out the layer with the blue purple fade, and we've taken out the tops of the wings, which are these blue section here. So what's missing left as a layer are all of these little white speckles for details along there. So let's go ahead and we will just keep those ones. We'll try to clear out some of these sections and use the erase tool. Now we're going to click the select and erase tool just so we can remove all the background from where the little white detail pieces are, make it easier on ourselves. And now what I'm going to recommend doing is zooming in, and that way we can really get in there and don't have to worry so much about accidentally hitting anything. Looking pretty clean on this screen. Now is a good time to go check the next screen because it usually reveals any mistakes that we've made. And I purposely chose something that had a lot of detail to it so that I could really show you guys, you know, the nitty-gritty of how this works. It looks like a spot there. Let's go back just to make sure. We're going to save this as a cut image and we can put wing spots. So now that we're done with that, we can take our pieces and assemble them. So we have our background butterfly, the wings, the top of the wings, and the spots. And we'll go ahead and insert all of these images. And what I'm going to do is zoom out quite a bit here. And I'm going to change the colors of the items just to make it easier on ourselves visually. So we know that the spots here were white, so let's select white. And we know that the wings were purple before, and we know that this was blue before. And you can change it up. It doesn't have to be the same colors, but it's just an easy visual way to work that. So what we can do is line up all of our pieces here, and I'm going to move my butterfly base here and move the other pieces a little bit out of the way. Let's scroll down. We'll move these out of the way since we're not using them yet. And we're going to start with this because I feel like this is going to be a little easier to place. So I think that looks right. Yep, that looks good. And then what we can do is place our wings next on here. Okay, we have that. And then we can take our layer with the little tops of the wings and place that in there. And then now you have the same image that you had before from the internet, except you've made it into something that you can cut with different layers and different colors. And all you have to do is just group them together. And then you can play with all of that. You can take that and play with the sizing if it's too large and make it a lot smaller. Since we're zoomed out really far, it's actually quite a large image. So there you go. That's probably a more reasonable size to work with. But now you can go in and you can edit the different layers. You can say, I think I want this to be orange, and you're going to make this look a little bit more like a regular classic monarch butterfly or something. So what do you guys think? It turned out pretty cool, right? There's a lot of different options that you can make, and just always keep in mind licensing issues. If you're using this for personal use, it's different than if you're using it for business use. But it's a great way to take an image and just really build on it so that you can customize it and use it the way that you would like for any design that you're really working on. So if you have any questions, make sure to leave them below. If you have video suggestions or things you would like to see, always leave a comment below. I would love to hear what you guys are curious about and what you want to work on. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and like the video, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day.